This is a Sandy Boy Productions podcast.
Welcome to Finish Lines and Milestones, a podcast for everyday runners. I'm your host, Allie Bretnacher, and if you run, you are a runner, and every runner has a story. Join me every Friday as I share these stories and we cross finish lines and celebrate milestones together. First, let me tell you about this week's sponsor, Relay Active. This is a woman-owned small business made for women's activewear, and it combines fashion, art, comfort, and performance into clothes that you're going to love. So I'm going to tell you about a few of my favorite items. The first is the Rachel pocket shorts. I've had a pair of these for years. So Lindsay Hine was the first to influence me to buying Relay Active, and I did not regret it one bit. So the Rachel pocket shorts, they're longer. They've got a huge pocket for your phone. Then for tops, we have the Kella pocket crop top, which is high neckline, a little bit longer than a bra, and then has a pocket for your phone in the back. Then we also have the Clio pocket bra, which is this beautiful square neckline that's more of a bra length. Also has a phone pocket, which is, I feel like for me, I have to have at this point. And then right now, if you're watching this video, I'm wearing a Sunday's Essential pocket tee. I have 3 of these in my closet that I bought, again, probably years ago at this point. But my favorite set right now is the Sunburst Summer Collection set. It's so beautiful. This tie-dye, I'm telling you, is gorgeous. You must get it. So if you want to check it out, go to relayactive.com and use code ALLYB, ALLYB, for 15% off your first order. And also feel really good about it because 1% of all purchases go to animal rescue. So thank you, Relay Active, for supporting this podcast. My guest this week is Sarah Overpeck. We were introduced by Carlton Ray, who you may know in Indianapolis as the founder of the Indianapolis Monumental Marathon. More than 15 years running. We're getting close to 20 years. So Carlton introduced us and said, hey, you got to meet Sarah. She's a great runner. You're a runner. You have a running podcast. And so we connected, and I just thank you to Carlton so much for connecting us because this conversation was so much fun. It was my first time ever talking to Sarah, which I always love. And it was Sarah's first time on a podcast, which I couldn't believe. And she has a ton of great stories. And so while I'm here complaining about my summer running, Sarah was part of the first all-female team to do the Speed Project, which is an ultra race that's unsanctioned, unsupported, free-for-all, goes from Santa Monica Pier to Las Vegas. Insane. So I can't really complain about the heat. I try to just channel that and know that that's what Sarah did that. I can do that. And they won. First female team ever to win that race. So super cool. I've talked about it on this podcast before. I mentioned the documentary. I will have linked that in the show notes for you to go check out. And then I find myself just living vicariously through Sarah. So she's now really into Ironman 70.3 races. She's done 3 of them. In a couple weeks, she's getting ready to go do another one, Olympic distance. And then she's heading to Europe for a running retreat with Lauren Fleshman. And you should definitely get to know Lauren and read her book. But she's going on this retreat. She's done one before in Oregon, but now this one's in France. And so I wish I would have had her on after, frankly, so we could hear all about it. But I promise I will keep you updated and share what Sarah shares when she's over there. But we talk all about Sarah's running journey. She's been in Indiana for all of her life, having grown up here, gone to high school and undergrad here. We talk about how she ran and rode at IU. She now works for the NCAA downtown. We share stories of her races. One, my personal favorite story she shares is about a train. It's wild. She went on to win that race. Crazy. And we talk about how she made her way from running road races to then going into the ultra scene and now the triathlon world. And I'm just so incredibly inspired by Sarah. So I hope you enjoy this conversation with my new friend, Sarah Overpeck. Welcome, Sarah Overpeck. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, you're welcome. I can't believe you've never been on a podcast before.
Yeah. Wild.
How is that possible? Have you just turned down all the requests?
Yeah, exactly. They've been just streaming in, and I've been like, gosh, I just,
Just couldn't possibly. Well, we got connected by Carlton Ray. And for anybody listening who does not know Carlton, he's the founder of the Monumental Marathon.
Yeah.
And you were just telling me how you know Carlton, so I'm going to make you repeat it now.
Yeah.
How do you know him?
Just my husband and I met him through just mutual friends, not even running related, but we were so excited when he started the Monumental Marathon. And like, he's just, I don't know, hasn't lived in Indianapolis in a long time, but still feels just like a staple of this city and this community.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we're coming on almost, it was just 15 years, I feel like a couple years ago. So we're getting close now to 20 years of the Monumental. That's so crazy you met him before he started it even.
Yeah.
Did you do the inaugural race or are you just...
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, almost 20 years. We're getting closer.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember if I did the inaugural, but I've done it several times.
Yeah.
I actually had to stop running that race because my husband and I moved 6 years ago, and we now live right in between. It goes up Washington and down Meridian, and we live on Delaware. So it's like, I feel like it would be awful to just run past my house twice during a marathon.
That'd be really rough.
Yeah. But we go cheer usually, and it's very convenient for cheering.
Well, thank you for doing that. All the runners appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like it would be so tempting to stop. It could be really nice to be by your house. Just swing in, use the bathroom,
right.
Grab some stuff out of the fridge that you might need. Yeah, but that would be weird and hard. Yeah, and you just couldn't go home.
Exactly, right.
So be like, all right, I guess I'll just live downtown until the race is over.
Right.
Are you originally from the Indianapolis area?
I am, yeah. My mom still lives in the house that I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
My whole life lived in the same house. I went to an elementary school on the northeast side. I went to Chittard for high school.
Okay.
I didn't even stray far for college. I went to IU. So, yeah, I'm just Indiana through and through.
Indiana. And now you work here.
Yep.
Live here. We have another mutual friend, too, by the way, before I forget to mention, Lindsay Hine.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did meet her through just the local running community when she also lived in Indy, and just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We miss her. Maybe we can convince her to come back.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've done your time outside of
Exactly.
Indianapolis. Like, now it's time to come home. So, I've gotten her to come in town. She came in town for the Mini this year and last year, actually. The Mini hired her. And now I think I can get her to come back for the Monumental. And hopefully we can do an event together every year, twice. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So Lindsay, if you're listening to this, come back. We're ready. We're ready to have you back.
We want you.
If you lived on Delaware downtown, isn't that, she lived really, like, I don't know. Did she live on Delaware or another street? But
I can't remember. We're like a little
somewhere.
North of downtown. So yeah.
More Meridian, Kessler type of area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice. All right. So very Indiana. And when you were growing up, were you a runner? Did you get just a lot of different sports when you were a kid?
Just like a ton of different activities. My parents were always just very encouraging of just whatever activity. So I don't know. I tried like volleyball, basketball as like an elementary school kid, and just like ball sports, not for me, like not that coordinated. So,
me either, really.
Yeah. And honestly, like even running, I was like pretty mediocre to start with. I remember the very first run, what I would call like a run, besides, just running around as a kid, but the first like run I went on, it was probably the summer before my 8th grade year. And my mom was like a race walker. She would do like the mini, like walk it.
Oh,
she
that's
was
amazing.
Like legit real fast. Yeah. And so she would like walk this neighborhood loop, and I jogged with her while she was like race walking around our neighborhood. And I was like, I think I'm going to try running. One of my older sisters was a high school runner.
Okay.
And she ran cross country. And so, I looked up to her and I was like, I think I'm going to try it. So I ran track in 8th grade. We didn't have a cross country team, but I ran track. I didn't hate it. And so I ran cross country and track in high school. And yeah, I just enjoyed the activity, liked that it didn't really require a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
Made great friends, and just, I don't know. I don't think, obviously at the time, I don't think I realized this, but it's just obviously something that you can do anywhere, anytime,
right,
forever, as long as, your body holds up. It's like, it doesn't really require a lot of stuff.
I mean, it doesn't, but, I don't know about you, but I buy a lot of stuff that I don't actually need. But
right, true.
It makes it more enjoyable. Yeah, that's so funny. I want to talk about your mom's race walking again, though.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me think of the clips I saw from the Olympics this year of the speed walkers. That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom's not like Olympic level, but I picture that.
Yeah.
When I think about somebody like walking with real purpose.
Yeah.
Does she still walk?
She still walks, not quite as fast or as far, and like her knees give her some trouble now. But yeah, she still like walks for exercise. And I mean, it was like really kind of unbelievable. Like now thinking back, I probably didn't appreciate it as much as a kid.
Yeah, right.
I
Like,
do
what
now.
are you doing?
Yeah. But yeah, intense.
Yeah, that's so cool. Does she still ever do like something distance-wise, like the mini, or is she
No.
out of those years?
Yeah. No real like events or anything anymore. Just
that's how my mom is as well. Like she's kind of the one that got our family into running because my dad still runs, but my mom can no longer run, but she's very active.
Yeah.
And so kind of similar. But no race walking for her. She does. Have you ever seen an elliptigo?
Oh yes.
Yeah, she has one of those.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you mentioned one older sister. Does that mean you have more than one older sister?
I grew up with two. One of them passed away. Very, very unexpectedly several years ago. Gosh, it was in 2017. Yeah, it was super unexpected. She had a brain aneurysm that we did not know, and it ruptured. And yeah, it was all very like sudden and intense. And I'm just trying to talk about it without getting super
I just realized too, like an idiot, that I was like, oh yeah. I was just kind of going through where are you in the birth order? How many siblings do you have?
Yeah.
And immediately was like, wanted to shove my foot in my mouth.
No,
for, putting you on the spot immediately.
No, it's totally fine. And like, I don't know, like grief evolves. So I'm to the point now, it's obviously still there and I still miss her, but it's like, I'm to the point now where I am a little more, it just comes more naturally to talk about it. And I don't mind talking about it at all because she was a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
Is still. In that way,
Right. Yeah. And so was she the oldest?
She's the oldest. And then I was the youngest.
Okay.
So my sisters were 5 and 7 years older than me.
Okay.
So I was like a little bit a ways down, but had them to look up to. Like they went through like high school and college, and I had them to kind of like as my example.
Right, or like what not to do. That's what I was. I'm the oldest of 3 girls, so I was what your sister was. Like the example that they look up to, but sometimes also learned what not to do as well, which is just as important, I'd like to think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. How old was she when she had the aneurysm? That's
41. 41, yeah.
41.
Which is wild. It was like an interestingly emotional birthday for me this year because I turned 42, which like kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh, wow, like this is an age she never got to be. Like,
which is just insane.
Right.
After it happened, like, did the doctors tell you that there was any way you could have ever known at all?
No. I mean, unless like there was for some other reason, she might have gotten some scan.
Right.
There was no warning sign. It was really wild. But then afterward, like my doctor did say, like we can do an MRI on you to see if this is like, I don't know if it's runs in the family or what.
Right.
But I did, and all was fine. So it's just like a freak thing. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And she was 41. Was she married with kids, or what did her life look like?
Yeah. Married, had two girls. They were quite young at the time, 8 and 6, I think they were. So they're in high school now, which is wild. That's been a journey of just obviously they have their own whole grief experience and going through that. And very lucky that we all live in this area, in the Indianapolis area. So
that's really nice.
Gotten to be a part of their life. And my other sister lives here as well. She's got 2 young kids. So yeah, we've all gotten to just kind of be there for each other.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Gosh, that like really hits me hard because I'm 39 and I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so it's just like, I can't imagine that. And it's almost like, well, at least I wouldn't be there but like the idea of trying to process that and what they would experience is really hard, and what my sisters and family would experience.
Yeah. And it's this very interesting, like I try not to like project what I'm feeling onto them, but it's like every little milestone they have, like 8th grade graduation, like all these, like getting your driver's license, like it's just like this like underlying sadness or like melancholy. And I'm like, well, they don't necessarily, that's not their experience. That's me knowing that I had a mom when I went through this. And so it's just, I don't know, I try to, obviously I want them to like see me feel my feelings, but I try not to like project onto them if they're, having their own whatever it is, whatever their feelings are about it.
Yeah. And so, okay, you said the year and I forgot. Or did you say the year?
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
And so, 8 years.
Yeah.
Could you talk just a little bit about how grief evolves? Because I know that everybody listening has lost someone in their life and would relate a lot to that.
Yeah.
But the suddenness of it, too, is
Right.
like one of those things where it's so different to have to process like that. Like
Yeah.
when you weren't preparing for it.
Yeah. It was like truly like just a shock to the system. I mean, like I even remember like having these like weird, this is going to sound worse than it is. I remember having like weird tightness in my chest, and like I went to the doctor and got it all checked out. Like it was not like a physical ailment. It was just like literally my heart was broken, like it was just these weird things. I obviously sleeping was hard. I would just like random moments just like burst into tears. So it was like, even just like getting through the day, like trying to like go back to work and like driving by the hospital where she was. It's just like, everything would just make me burst into tears. Weirdly, like ambulance sirens would, because it was like all very sudden, and she like went to the hospital in an ambulance. And so like even that was just like traumatic and like, well, and it just, I don't know, like people showing up is like a huge help. Just day in and day out, just people being like, how are you? How are you doing? Like, how are you really? So I had, great coworkers, great friends. Obviously, my family, like I said, was all local, and we had that.
Yeah.
And it just, it's so cliche, but just like time is like the only balm, and it never really goes away. It's still like this undercurrent. And even now, every now and then, something random, I'll just like bring a tear to my eye. But I think of it now as a good thing that I'm remembering, even if it makes me a little sad.
Right.
It's like I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget like whatever
or go through a day or week where you don't think about her, right? Like that would be even more painful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like I don't know, I also don't really like the phrase like everything happens for a reason, and I don't necessarily think you need to find like a silver lining to every tragic thing.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think it has made me like more compassionate. I've had like friends and coworkers who've lost loved ones, and so it just, I don't know, it's a different level of understanding that I hope I can just like bring a comfort.
Yeah. And you're like, of course I wish I didn't have this.
Right.
At least, okay. And you lost your dad too, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty recently. That was just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Which he had some like medical issues for several years and was doing, pretty well. He had cancer on his kidney, and so it was removed, and he was weirdly only born with one kidney, which he didn't even know until that happened.
Really? That is kind of wild.
Yeah. And that was like several years ago. I mean, like probably, at least a dozen years ago. And so it was doing really well since then. He had a kidney transplant from his brother. His brother was his kidney donor. Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah. And he'd been doing well for a long time, but it's just like that wears on your body. He had been on dialysis for a while, and like it just aged him quite quickly. And so it just like very random complications and stuff from that. So he went in the hospital a couple of years ago in October, and it just like he kind of declined from there. It was all pretty quick and just not quite as, obviously not as sudden as my sister, but still just like, I don't know. It was like, oh, wasn't expecting that. Like, his longevity runs in his family. His father lived to be like 96, I think. So it's just like, Yeah, that's how my dad's dad is. I mean, like, I'm like expecting him to live forever. Right.
You're like, of course you are. Like, that's what your dad did. And
right.
Yeah. Gosh. So in these moments of grief, like in running, I just picture, do you feel like when you are running, especially now, like when you are out on the trails, or do you find comfort there in being able to be with them in some way?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I run mostly by myself. I don't do a lot of like social running, although I do sometimes. But for the most part, like if I'm doing a long run, like I'm by myself, I'm just kind of in my head and like in my heart. And it is like a time when I can like connect. I don't really do yoga much anymore, but at the time after my sister died, I was just kind of trying anything to be like, what will help me process this? So I was doing some yoga, and even that was just like anytime I could be still, I could just kind of like feel a connection and think of her. So yes, definitely like running and that like it's kind of like meditative, and it really like can get you in that kind of headspace to just be present and
Yeah. Well, when I'm out on the Monon here, like there's a million cardinals out there. And I'm always like, I think about people I lost when I see cardinals and butterflies. It just brings this like little sweet comfort. And it'll depend on maybe I'm listening to music, maybe I'm not. But if I'm listening to music, sometimes it'll be like the song with that is like these moments where you're like, okay, like they're still there somehow.
Yes.
And
yeah.
So at what point in your life, high school, you ran in college at IU, didn't you, as well?
I did,
and
yeah.
Did you row too?
Yeah.
So I was like doing my research. I'm like, okay, so this is nuts. How did you get into rowing too with the running?
Yeah, so wild. So like I said, I was a very mediocre runner. Like truly, I know that sounds crazy to say, but like I was not recruited for any sport out of high school. I was like, I don't even know if I ever ran an actual varsity cross country race in high school. I just like loved being on the team. And I swam in high school as well. So I was a little like pool rat. Me and my sisters all were. Like we grew up in a little neighborhood with a pool, and like we were at the pool all the time. So I swam in high school too. So I just liked sports and activities. And I went to IU not thinking I was going to do any sport. But I saw these like flyers for like a call out for like rowing, just like try rowing.
Get out of here.
I was oh, I can learn to row. That sounds cool. If nothing else, I'll just learn how to row. So I went to the like call out meeting, and they talked about how they would teach us how to row, and you had to get up really early, but like here's where the practices were, and they were on Lake Griffey was where we learned, and then Lake Lemon in Bloomington was where like the actual team practiced. And I'm like, I like lakes, I like being around water, like that sounds cool. So yeah, I tried it and I really liked it. And like met some great people and just enjoyed being a part of it. So I learned how to row. My freshman year was a novice rower.
Did they turn people away too? Or were you like, hey, we want to have a rowing team, a full team. So if you're athletic and you can do it, we're in.
Yeah.
Is that how it worked? Or
yes. It was pretty much like anyone, if you were like at all athletic and were interested. Yeah. It was only, so when I started, when I was a freshman, it was only, I think the fourth year that it was a varsity program. Okay. It used to be a club team. And so they were really trying to build the program and get people involved. And I guess like just by sheer numbers, if you recruit, whatever, like 100 college freshmen, like some of them are bound to be pretty good.
Yeah. Somebody's got to be able to do this well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a huge call out. Yeah. I learned how to row. And then after my freshman year, so I'm pretty short. I'm 5'3", and just because of the physics of rowing, height is advantageous. So I was a little disadvantaged there. So one of the coaches was like, hey, maybe you could try being a coxswain, which is like the person who sits in the boat and steers and like encourages the rowers in the boat.
But the steering is not rowing. It is literally, is it?
Somewhat.
I don't know. Okay,
yeah.
It is.
Some of it. Most of it is the rowers with the oars. And then there's like a tiny little rudder. I mean, it's like the size of a credit card that can just like help steer for like if you need to make like a sharp turn, it just aids with that.
Okay.
But most of it, like most of the steering is instructing, stronger on port side or like.
Because you can see what's going on.
Yeah. So all the rowers are sitting backwards and the coxswain is like looking ahead.
Okay. I guess I did know that maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I'm
like, wait a minute.
You're going to watch it in a whole new light when you watch like Olympic rowing.
That was Sarah. That's what she was doing. She was sitting up there telling people what to do. Do you have to like yell really loud? Because is it loud on the boat or is it quiet? I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. I've never done it.
Well, we did have like a little mic, which is actually funny now that I'm saying that I was like, I've never done a podcast, which is true, but I have worn a little headset when I was a coxswain.
There you go. If only we had recordings of that.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if profanity's allowed, but it's like, come on, people.
Yeah. And actually my coach did used to record. I don't know, maybe this is common among rowing teams, but my coach would record the coxswains and we would like listen to our tapes to get like better, just like feedback and think through like how could we have said this differently, encourage the team better.
What worked really well. Like, what did I say? I can't even remember. I feel like when you're in that moment, a lot of times you probably wouldn't remember. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so I started coxing, as we say, and I was not rowing as much. Sometimes I would do workouts with the team, but for the most part, I was a little like coach of my boat. And so I was like, I'm just going to start running again kind of in my free time so I can like stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came back to running in like a really interesting way, just for myself. I had never really run not for a coach. Like I had run in high school and always whatever my coach told me to do. And so I was kind of just exploring it myself and trying workouts, like whatever I read in Runner's World at the time.
Yeah.
And I like ran some local races the summer after my sophomore year. And I was like, oh, I'm not bad. Like I can run a pretty fast 5K. And then crucial, like it's all who you know in life, right? Like the rowing coach was the husband of the cross country coach at IU at the time. And
Get out of here.
And so he was like, hey, like maybe you should try walking on to the cross country team.
That is this all started with a flyer.
Right? Exactly.
All started with a flyer. You never know. If you just say yes to something, you don't really know what's going to happen. But holy cow.
Yeah. So I was a little walk-on the cross country and track team my junior year and then part of my senior year. But then I was a math major and a secondary ed. I was getting my secondary ed license to be a teacher. So I did my student teaching the second semester of my senior year. So I wasn't on campus for most of it.
Okay. Where did you student teach?
At Lawrence North here in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what grade was that?
All high school.
That's all high school.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember what all the classes I had. It was like algebra 2 and algebra 1, I think, were my student teaching classes.
Okay.
And then I taught for like 4.5 years right out of college. And I taught like geometry, algebra, pre-calc, calculus. Yeah.
I love math as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a very rare response. Most people
really
are like,
love
math.
It's actually at Miami of Ohio is where I went to undergrad. And
Okay.
It was called Decision Sciences, which sounds so fancy. They don't even have it anymore as a major. But it's basically business statistics. But
Yeah.
I just had to pick something in the business school, and I always loved math.
Yeah.
And I remember my freshman year of college taking calculus, and we had it every day. And I wouldn't say I sat in there and like loved it, but I was good at it. And most people weren't. Calculus is really freaking hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress, but I love math. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I could probably still rattle off. I got the quadratic formula to the Notre Dame fight song. So
That's awesome.
Thank you to whoever my high school math teacher was for that. Yeah. Oh, so you wanted to teach. You knew that you wanted to teach. What got you in that headspace, like where you were like wanted to be a teacher? Were either your parents teachers or?
My mom, yeah.
Okay.
My mom, kind of similar actually. She was like total math person. I don't know if she majored in math in undergrad, but she was definitely like math brain for sure. And then was an elementary school teacher for a long time. She teaches middle school now. But yeah, so that was like definitely an influence. And I also just think it was like, I didn't really know like I don't know, I like math and like teaching seems like a good use of it. Like I just didn't really know like what kind of math careers there were.
Like an actuary or
right,
I remember like trying to, I was majoring in that. I'm like, what am I going to do?
Right. Yeah. So I was like, I at least kind of had the foresight to be like, well, I want to major in math in case I want to do anything else with this degree. But I was like, I guess I'll teach with it.
Yeah. I'm good at this. I'll teach other people how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what made you pick high school? Or is it just, how do you narrow that down when you're studying it? Real quick, I wanted to take a second to tell you about a few more shows that are in the Sandy Boy Productions podcast network. Of course, you probably already know I'll have another with Lindsay Hine, hosted by the one and only Lindsay Hine. There are a couple other shows in her network that have to do with running. So if you like this podcast, you might like those as well. There's also the Trail Network podcast. It's hosted by ultra runners Leah Yingling, Rachel Drake, Katie Asmuth, and Hillary Yang. And they talk all about magical moments in trail running. And then we also have the Miles with Moms podcast, which is a podcast for moms who run by moms who run. And their goal is for mother runners everywhere to never have to run alone or feel alone in their mom life struggles or journey to accomplish big goals. So if you like this podcast, you're going to like them too. Those podcasts are all available anywhere you listen to podcasts. So be sure to go check them out. Okay, back to the show. And then what made you pick high school? Or is it just, How do you narrow that down when you're studying it? Do you, or you wait till like what jobs are available to see where you fall?
Yeah. So at least at the time when I got my degree, the licensing was 5th through 12th grade. So
Okay.
I could have taught middle school, but I think I just was like, I liked the high school math classes. I was more interested in pre-calc, calculus, and so I thought it'd be more interesting to teach those. Not that you get that gig right away. They're usually like, here's all of the Algebra 1.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. I can't imagine. I don't know. I don't have the patience to be a teacher, I think, at any level.
Well, I didn't. It turned out I didn't either.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing it anymore.
Because you're like, well, yeah. Yeah. So you taught for 4.5 years.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, this isn't what I should be doing with my life.
Yeah, it was I was definitely like in the space where I'm like, is this what I want? I don't know. And then simultaneously, so I had started a summer job the summer before that fifth year of teaching, and also a just random connection. Somebody that my mom had his kids in her class in elementary school. She was teaching. He was working at it was an NCAA department, but that was like an LLC. It was contracted work they were doing for initial eligibility, reviewing transcripts in the summer for all these incoming student athletes. And so they were looking for people to review transcripts. And I was like, well, that'd be kind of fun as a summer job. And so I applied, got the summer job. And then during my fifth year of teaching, they kind of reorganized the department and they were looking for full-time employees. And I was like also kind of questioning whether I was going to be teaching forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, maybe I'll make this career pivot and give it a whirl. And so I applied and got a full-time position and then have just been there ever since.
Wow. And so how long have you been there?
16 years. Well, I started in the summer of 2009 and then I started full-time in like January or February of 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, so 15 to 16 years.
Now I need to look at my notes to cheat. It is called, high school review is what it's called.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not know what that means. Tell us the story of your time at the NCAA. Like, what did you start doing, kind of like you just said? And then what is it that you do now? What is high school review?
Yeah, so it's all of my time there has been in this one department called the Eligibility Center.
Eligibility Center. So
we do all initial eligibility. So every kid coming out of high school who is going to play Division I or II athletics at any NCAA school has to get an account with the Eligibility Center, submit their transcripts, and get a certification to deem them eligible to compete. So there's like a set of standards that they have to meet in high school to be academically eligible then to compete in college. So I started on the like transcript reviewing, and then I kind of became like a team lead in that area. And then I moved to this high school review team. Just, opening became available. And I was like, that seems like kind of, I've always been kind of like working my way, trying to find like the right balance of, I loved teaching and I was a track coach when I was teaching. And so just trying to find the right balance of, I want to be close enough to the actual high school academic space and the athletics world. And so it felt a little more of a connection to that high school space to be on this team that specifically works with high schools. So we manage all of these accounts for every high school in the U.S. that has student athletes, essentially. And if any of them are interested in playing in college, then we solicit the transcripts from the high schools. They submit courses that we then approve to use in the student certification so that to measure whether they're meeting the requirements. So, yeah, it's just like account management, processing all these submissions from high schools. And yeah.
I have so many questions. Okay. So I was thinking about how AI has probably like rocked your world and like changed it in a good way, probably to do a lot of that review kind of for the teams that you work with. My other question is going to sound dumb, but it's like, okay, NCAA schools. So all those schools are the schools within, like, if I picture my like March Madness bracket, like those are the NCAA schools.
Yep.
So how many schools are there?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I should know that off the top of my head,
but you don't, Sarah. Come on.
I'm like,
I thought it was a dumb question.
Nope. I'm trying to picture the graphic. I have like a graphic whenever we do presentations. I can tell you a fun fact that Division III is actually the largest division, which is not logical. Most people think Division I is the biggest,
right?
But they probably have the most money for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's like I want to say like 1,000 schools.
Okay. Yeah. In my mind, I was like, is it hundreds or is it less than 100? Like, I just don't know. Okay. Because not every school is an NCAA school.
Right. Yeah.
So what makes a school an NCAA school?
Just if they want to be a member. So it's like a member association, and they have to agree to. And then within, whether it's Division 1, 2, or 3, each division has their own kind of the requirements for their members. So our member schools are going to do X, Y, Z, or provide this or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it feels kind of silly, but I mean, I know where the NCAA headquarters is because I live in Indiana, and I go to downtown Indianapolis, and but I've never really thought about like what it does. I mean, I know it's sports related, and I know of the NCAA, but it's interesting to then kind of step back and like think through. Okay, yeah, it's an association like anything else. Has members that pay dues and get a certain benefit for being a part of it, and not everybody has to be a part of it, but it provides value. Okay, so that just is me processing this like an idiot, and I don't know.
No, it's really fine because most people are like, "Oh, cool, you work at the NCAA." Like,
and I'm like, "That's
March
cool.
Madness," like,
yeah, right.
Which is a huge part of what we do.
Right.
Not my role, obviously, but there's a whole huge championships department puts on 90 championships, not just basketball, tons of them. Yeah, it's like a crazy big organization. There's like somewhere around 500 people that work at the national office.
Okay. Yeah. I actually pictured even more, frankly. Do you travel at all, or can everything that you and your team does happen remotely?
For the most part, we're based in Indy, and we don't really need to travel. Occasionally we'll go and like visit high schools or do like education where we go and like just make sure people are aware of the eligibility requirements. But yeah, for the most part, our work is just on a computer.
Right. So do colleges and universities, do they ever leave the NCAA? Do they say, we don't want to be part of this anymore?
Yeah, occasionally. I think probably more frequently, they just change divisions.
Okay,
like
that makes
move
sense.
from like Division 1 to Division 2 or Division... I don't know how often you would get a Division 3 to Division 1 or 2, because Division 3 is kind of a whole different philosophy of just like they focus much more on the like academic and athletic balance, which all of them should because they're all student athletes. But it's just a different like balance and priorities and mindset.
Mm-hmm. Now let's go back. Let's switch back over to the running side alongside this. So you mentioned that you'd started running like some local races, some 5Ks. What were some of those first races that you did here?
Oh gosh, I mean, like just random, like I don't even remember some of the ones I probably did. Well, I'm trying to think back to the actual summer when I was like, oh, I'm going to do, whatever race. And they were like tiny 5Ks.
Yeah.
But like, I remember doing all the Jingle Bell 10K and those kinds of races. Yeah. I love a small race. Honestly, I don't know how long when I was driving up here that I was like, oh, the last time I parked here was for the Carmel Fest.
For the
Freedom
4th
Run.
of July?
Yeah, when it used to start right over there. But definitely the, whatever, 4th of July race stuff. Just all the little random local ones. Yeah.
And then at what point were you like, oh, 5K, 10K, like let's start doing, my mom's done the mini, like I should do the mini. Like when did you start getting into longer distance?
Yeah, definitely. So my older sister who ran cross country in high school, she had run the mini and like had, tried, I think she'd done a couple marathons by the time I got out of college. And I was like, yeah, I think I'd like to try that. So I honestly, actually now can't remember what year my first mini was, but that was probably my first longer race. It probably would have been like 2006, I think.
Okay.
2000, yeah. And then I ran my first marathon in 2007.
Okay.
Because I was just like, I don't know, this would be fun to train for. Like, yeah.
How old would you have been in your first marathon?
24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was teaching, and I can't remember if I was coaching track yet, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to train for a marathon. Like, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So I ran the Little Rock Marathon. It was my first marathon.
Get out of here. That was your first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a whole bunch of family that lives in Little Rock. My mom's side of the family, a lot of them live there.
Interesting.
And my uncle has run tons of marathons. I mean, like over 100, I think, and did like Ironmans. It was just like endurance athlete. And so it was like kind of fun to go and run the Little Rock Marathon with,
Would that be, is he your mom's brother then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went and ran that, and
Did they have the big medals at the time?
yes.
Have they always had like
Yeah.
humongous medals?
Yeah.
That is funny. And have you done that more than once now since you have family there?
Yes. I want to say I've done it 2 or 3 times. I have like the worst memory when it comes to race.
The only reason I remember is like I have a spreadsheet, and now I put everything on Instagram so that at some point like I can just literally have that as my reference point because I don't remember anything.
I know. People are like, "How many marathons have you run?" I'm like, "Oh,
a few, a few." Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've done it. I've done it at least twice, maybe 3 times, and then I think I did the half once or twice as well. There was one year. It's always in like early March, maybe the first weekend of March.
I couldn't remember what time of year that.
And my birthday is March 7th, so there was one year where the half was on my birthday, or when the race was on my birthday, and so I ran the half. I can't remember what else I was doing that I didn't want to run the full.
But you're like, well, let's have this be fun.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Did you wear anything special to say that it was your birthday?
I think I wrote on my bib, like, it's my birthday. And, like, you know, it's a small enough race that, like, people can, like, really read your bibs, you know? Like,
yeah.
So there was definitely people cheering, like,
yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I just did the Run 317
that's
in
right.
Broderpool.
Yeah.
That was on my birthday, and that's the first time I've ever done a race on my birthday, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
I didn't make myself a shirt. I totally should have. But they do a shout out at every Run 317 race. They will shout out people that have birthdays.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was really cool. And there was someone else there celebrating her 40th. I'm 39. And she had a crew of women who all had shirts. And I was kind of like, okay, well, like, if only this could be on my birthday again.
Right.
Or find a race somewhere in the country or world that has a race on my birthday. But yeah, that's fun. That's really cool. Yeah. So they've always had the big medals.
Yeah.
For people who don't know that, go look at a picture, like Google Little Rock Marathon medals, because they're known for these gigantic medals.
Yeah. Like if you're thinking, like, picturing large, like, picture
Double
larger.
Double it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, makes your neck hurt from wearing it.
It's like a dinner plate, Flava Flav, like, style medal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Carmel Runners Club did it. I can't remember year. They had a few people go down, and I remember that was the first time I saw pictures of the medals.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But it sure does feel like it, though. Race medals, I mean, they're all over the place. But
right.
I swear they start getting really big, and then they go back to being, like, small. I really like ours at the Monumental because they're like these, like, thick, like, legit medals that are very simple, but also, like, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And the caramels are amazing, and they're getting pretty big, too.
Yeah.
But also very sparkly. So anyway, I digress. Little Rock. So what is that race like? Is it hot? Is it hilly?
It can be a little humid. It's so, like, March in the South, it can be warm. It is hilly. I remember I, like, had blocked out the hilly part because another local runner was asking about, this was years ago, was asking, like, oh, I think I'm going to run the Little Rock Marathon. You've done it, right? Is it hilly? I'm like, no, I don't think it's that hilly. And then I ran it the next year, and I'm like, oh, there's some massive hills.
Sorry. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. But it's good. Like, I remember liking it. I've done it, multiple times. So, yeah, it's a good race. It's very well organized. Like, it's just a fun vibe.
It looks like a fun one.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Is Little Rock's in, like, the middle of Arkansas, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Is that where Walmart is? Am I making that up?
They're based in Arkansas. I can't remember what town, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bentonville.
Yes, that sounds right. Yes,
does
because
sound right.
I know in Bentonville there's, like, a huge, like, mountain biking scene because, like, the heirs of the Walton family have, like, put a lot back into the community and, like, built a lot of mountain biking trails and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have never done a race in Arkansas. Maybe I need to add Little Rock to my list.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that you did local races and then Little Rock for the first marathon.
Yeah.
And then after that, you were just hooked, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I was pretty successful in my first one. I ran like a 3:17, I think.
Jesus Christ, Sarah.
And I can't remember what place, like 5th place, I think. And so hilarious.
Oh my
in addition
God.
to the giant
No,
medal, addition to the giant medal, I got this, like, platter that was, like, whatever, an award platter. So it must have said, like, I still have it somewhere.
I was going to say, you better still have that.
It's not, like, on display, but it's
like
somewhere.
At Thanksgiving, you're like, here, this is my platter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you won the ancient Olympics, what you might get. It's hilarious.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That is amazing.
Yeah. So I flew to Little Rock to do the race and then was flying home, and in my bag, I don't think I checked a bag. I think I just had a carry-on. So in my bag is this giant medal, and this huge platter. And I go through the metal detector, and the security guy is like, "Ma'am, do you have anything metal in your bag?" I'm like, "I don't think so. I don't know." And he like unzips it and opens it up. I'm like, "Oh, well, there's those giant metal things." Yes.
Oh, that. Yes. I do have an obnoxious amount of metal in my bag right now.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, well, this is cool. I think I might be like kind of good at this marathoning thing."
17. Did you know through your training that you were going to run that fast?
Kind of, but I didn't know whether to trust it because it was the first marathon I'd trained for.
Yeah.
But hilariously, my training was just a joke. But then I'm like, maybe simple is better. I was like real into Runner's World at the time, and so I read about Yasso 800s.
Okay. I don't know
which
what
is
that
like
means.
it's Bart Yasso used to be like a Runner's World editor or something, and he had this philosophy workout plan where you would train for a marathon by running, as part of your training, run a set of 800s, I think pretty much every week, and you would like add an 800 each week. So you'd do like 4 and then 5 and then 6, and then maybe you like scale back a week and then keep building. And the idea was if you could run like the minutes and seconds of the 800 would translate to the hours and minutes of your marathon time. So like if you could run like, 3:30s for all your 800s, building all the way up to 10 800s, if you could run 3:30s, then you were like, you could run a 3:30 marathon. Obviously more to it. You'd obviously be doing long runs and stuff like that. But that was kind of the general idea. So that was like the speed work I did was these 800s. Like every week I would do a set of 800s, and then I did.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. And I hate 800s.
Yeah, I was like, now how do you feel about 800s?
Yeah, awful. Awful. And then I would do a long run, which I'm sure I don't remember. I'm sure I just like built it up, by a mile or two each week. And I don't really even remember if I was running every day. Like probably was at least 4 or 5 times a week. But yeah, I just was like, I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing. I had like a paper training log.
Yeah. Where did you live at the time? Like downtown or still like Broad Ripple?
Yeah, like Broad Ripple area.
Okay.
Yeah. I lived in the Broad Ripple area and then was teaching at Perry Meridian on the south side. So I was like driving down there. And so I think a lot of my runs I would run after school and like on the track at the high school. And,
okay.
Yeah.
That's nice to have access to,
Yeah.
actually. I've gotten kicked off my kids' track at school a couple times. I'm like, why do you care if I'm here? I'm literally like a mom running circles. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Little Rock was your first. And then have you done most of the local ones that we have here?
Yeah, I've done Monumental and Carmel, Flying Pig in Cincinnati.
Ooh, yeah, I've never done that one.
That's a
it's
fun
always
one.
the same weekend as the mini.
Oh,
so
yeah.
One of these times I'm going to be one of those crazy people that like goes the next day and does the half maybe, not the full. But
yeah,
that'd be kind of fun to experience. I've heard great things.
Yeah,
outside of it being hilly.
Right.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a fun one though. Fun vibe. And then Chicago, and then like not a lot of other like small ones. I've done Chicago I think twice, New York, Boston a couple times.
Okay, what about the other world majors then? Are you gonna just like add those in there at some point?
I think so at some point.
Because it's like you just rattled those off. I'm like, well, okay, you're like halfway there.
I know. I've never done a race like internationally, so that's like very intimidating to just think through the logistics of all of that. But
how can you run? I just don't know how you can race an international marathon. I feel like for me, especially the first time, it would be like let's go do it.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to have to be stressing about time, which I shouldn't anyway. It's just for myself. But still, runners, that's just how we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe you start getting on those lists because it'll take years and years to get in, apparently.
Right.
Yeah. And then what other marathons?
The Mill Race Marathon.
The Mill, yeah.
In Columbus, Indiana.
I have not done that one either.
Oh,
I've heard really great things about that
so
race.
fun. And like Columbus is adorable.
Yeah.
Cute little town. And just like they had fun after party thing.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's awesome. Highly recommend. I've done the half there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, at this point, I would ask you how many marathons, but you already said I don't know how many marathons I've done. So, It's
like probably like 15 or 20.
Okay.
Seems about right. But the Mill Race is the train story.
It's the train story.
Yes.
Can you believe that I've started using...
It lives on the internet.
I've started using AI to help comb the internet for things that I probably wouldn't be able to find, and it does a decent job. But I'm also like, is this really true about her? I have no idea. So I'm glad it is because it's a weird story.
Yeah.
So tell us that story.
Oh, it's so wild. So I can't remember. It was like the Mill Race Marathon has not been around a super long time. And I think this was in the early days, maybe like the first or second year of it. And the course goes across a set of train tracks twice, actually, I think, because starts like in downtown Columbus, and then it goes over into this park called Mill Race Park. And so you run through this park and then through this cool covered bridge and then back in, just around Columbus. So we crossed the train tracks into the park, and then we were coming back out of the park toward the train tracks, and I'm like, oh, is that a train coming down the tracks?
Could you just hear it, or did you see it?
I could hear it, and then like the train arm thing came down on the road we were running on, and some people got across before the train actually came through. That is a dangerous game. Yes, yeah. And so then eventually you kind of see the train starting to slow down. It was trying to stop, and eventually it just stopped on the tracks.
Oh no! Well, that's not helpful.
Right? Exactly. So then, I don't know, so ill-advised, do not recommend this, probably very dangerous, but people started climbing through the train car, not through the car, but in between, where the cars are hooked together.
Okay, this is not what I pictured in this story at all, actually.
So I'm like, well, people are going through that. Well, I guess I will too then, if that's how we're going to do this. I'm just like, what? So I climbed up over the joist thing that hooks the cars together.
Big ass metal, that's got to be. How high up is that? It's got to be 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
or something.
there was a little ladder for whatever, the engineer, I guess, to get up there. But so we were climbing up. I mean, there's a picture out there somewhere of me climbing down the other side.
Who's there photographing this? That is ridiculous too. And not saying, "Hey guys, let's not do this. This doesn't seem very safe."
Yeah. Yeah. And I think clearly it was, yes, again, do not recommend, don't do that. Don't climb through a parked train while it's trying to be active on the tracks. Yeah. But people got through. I think eventually I was kind of near the front of the race. And so I think eventually at some point they were okay, everyone, you need to stop so we can just get the train off the tracks. Yeah.
What a nightmare for the race organizers.
Yes. I think it was, I don't remember the detail. I think it was some sort of miscommunication of
God.
It was the train company, I don't know, misunderstood the timeline or whatever.
Something,
I don't know.
And
yeah.
somebody didn't, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Climbed through. That's crazy, Sarah.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that. Did you have I'm picturing, what is it, oil and black soot all over you?
I know, it was pretty clean actually.
That's
surprisingly clean, yeah.
Well, that's good, because otherwise, can you imagine
right.
the race, the finish photos, you're just covered in soot or whatever. Do you remember was it closed cars so you couldn't really tell what it was carrying? Or
yeah, it was the shipping container cars. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. At least it wasn't I don't know, animal livestock train and you're the pigs are sticking their snouts out and you're trying to climb through there. I don't know. Wow. That's funny that it stopped. You'd think trains usually can get through in a handful of minutes.
Right.
He probably just panicked and was oh my gosh, I'm not supposed to be here. I should just stop. And then
I know. Well, there were definitely people who ran across the tracks while the train was still moving. So I can just only imagine from the conductor's perspective, total panic of
what are these people doing?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. You're seeing these and you're what is happening? I'm going to hit some people here.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So were you... And you won, didn't you, as the overall female?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because can you imagine, you see another female run, she gets away, and then you're oh my gosh, I have no chance in catching her.
Right.
Which had to be some of the men around you were
yeah.
Jeez.
And it was
crazy.
So early in the race, it probably wouldn't have mattered anyway if we just waited,
Right.
But I don't know. In the moment, it's just
what chaos.
Total freak out.
Yeah. We do, speaking of 4th of July races, I do a flotilla road race, which is up at Lake Wawasee in Syracuse, Indiana. And there we go over the tracks twice as well. And yeah, it's such a small race that they don't communicate with the tracks at all. So if a train comes, you're going to have to wait for it to go by. That's just how it's going to be. Now, I've never had to stop, knock on wood, during the race, but somebody had to this year because I heard it coming.
Yeah.
And we crossed over. I was with this guy and he's kind of would have been nice to actually be able to stop for a while. I'm like, you're not wrong.
Right.
But I don't know if anybody got stopped, but I would assume they would because it was coming through.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things can take a while. You just gotta stand there and, oh, well. So that is such a cool story. What did you get for winning first place? Do you remember?
Oh, gosh. I don't remember. Well, the funny thing about that race is every year they do a drawing. I think it's any finisher of the full marathon and the half marathon gets entered in a drawing for a truck.
Really?
Because like Columbus is like the home of Cummins, and then there also is like some truck dealer there, I think. So they give away a truck every year. I did not win the truck.
That's actually pretty cool.
It is cool because it's like, if you just finish, you have a shot. Like, yeah.
Maybe somebody out there listening has won the truck.
Yeah.
If you've won the truck, please contact me. That's funny. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like winning a truck from a race. That would be really cool, actually. Now for Monumental, I'm like, maybe we should figure out a way to do that, or I don't know. Maybe
get a truck sponsor.
Right, exactly. Okay, and so then you go from halves and marathons, and then now we're talking like ultramarathons and Ironman races. So you just kind of keep leveling up? Is that how the progression worked, or? And another quick break to tell you that if you didn't know this already, I actually have my own business. It's called Athlete Bouquets, and I make gifts for runners. Think of an edible arrangement, except with all these running goodies. So as your friends approach the really tough times of marathon training this summer, head to athletebouquets.com to find a gift. Perhaps send them when it's getting really tough in this heat, for goodness sakes. Or just earmark one that you can send them when they do the thing. You can use code PODCAST for 10% off your order at athletebouquets.com. Thank you so much for your continued support. Back to the show. Okay, and so then you go from halves and marathons, and then now we're talking like ultra marathons and Ironman races. So you just kind of keep leveling up? Is that how the progression worked, or?
Yeah, I think it's mostly just a curiosity, like about like what else is out there. In running, I got very, very attached to like my marathon times, and like I plateaued a little bit, and then just had I don't know if I'd call it like an unhealthy obsession, but it just was becoming not fun. We all can relate, probably, if we're competitive and listening. Yeah. Yeah, it was just becoming it had lost its fun a little bit because I was so obsessed with like a new PR and like getting, I had all these time goals. I also just didn't have a very open mind about like more than one way to train. So I was just like training the same way, but trying to be faster, like do all my intervals faster. And like, even the process was becoming unfun. So I'm like, I just need to like shake it up. Maybe I'll try an ultra. Maybe I'll try something even longer. Yeah. Yeah. But it was like, I don't have any time expectation. I'm just going to like go see what ultras are all about. So I did my first 50 miler in 2016.
So not even a 50K?
Yeah.
Straight to 50 miles.
Straight to the 50 mile. And that was actually kind of intentional because I thought if I'm doing a 50K, I think I'll still be attached to like a marathon time.
That's true, because it's not as much, it's not much further, really.
Yeah. But it's like, gosh, like 50 miles is like a whole different ball game.
Yes.
Like, so, yeah, So I went like all in on just kind of learning like how to train for an ultra. And the one I did, the first one, was very flat. It was the Hennepin in Illinois.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. So it was flat, great, almost all like crushed gravel surface, and a really good vibe. Like the race organizer was awesome. So it was a fun first one for sure. But then like being flat, it was easy to like run pretty, like I don't know. I had not done a ton of trail running at the time. And so it was like I can run pretty consistently for the whole race, not a lot of like up and down and figuring out like how to pace myself. I could just kind of
cruise and
what kind of pace can I lock in on?
Yeah. That's terrifying to think about. I'm like, what? How? Did you use a coach at all for training, or do you still like just kind of self-train where you're like, okay, with like Runner's World type resources, you just kind of put training together?
Yeah, for that I did just kind of train myself. I got a couple of like ultramarathon books and like learned a little bit about like I don't know, like back-to-back long runs, which I guess aren't really that big of a deal or aren't like that popular anymore. I haven't done like specific ultra training in several years, but like at the time, everyone was doing back-to-back long runs, 20 on Saturday and then 12 on Sunday. And so I just kind of like pieced together training based on some ultra marathon plans that I found. And then I did get a coach for a little while after that. Interesting, like the timing of it all. I got a coach shortly after that. And then just ran right into my sister's death. And it was just like, I was trying to navigate all that. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I'm going to have a coach right now.
Yeah, I just can't like try to care about what you're telling me to do.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know
do what I need. And
I'm going to run 4 miles if I feel like running 4 miles or 0 if that's what I need. So then I ran several more, but just kind of enjoyed learning how to do it myself, like coach myself, figure out what worked, what didn't work. So I did several more just kind of on my own. And then when I got into triathlons, did those on my own for a couple of years, but just hired a coach earlier this year because that's like a ton of things. Like I'm pretty confident in listening to my body and knowing what works running wise, but with a lot of events, a lot of things happening in a triathlon.
There's like 3 sports, and then maybe you could have the transition or whatever it's called, like be a 4th sport. Right. Might as well be.
Right. There's like a million things to think about, and the training is just like chaos to put together, at least for me, because I'm not used to it. I'm sure for my coach, it's like second nature, but yeah. So that's been super helpful to just like offload that mind. Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. So wait, you didn't tell me what you told me about your first ultra. You just glossed over that. You're like, well, I did my first 50 miler, but you won.
Yeah.
And set the course record.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I guess. So how did you not then worry about times after that? You're like, well, great. Now I was trying to just let go a little bit, and here I am winning and setting course records.
There was a little bit of that, but I also was like, well, ultras are like, the terrain is also different. There's some that are mountainous, some that are like more intense trails than this, very flat, towpath. So it was a little easier to kind of let that piece just be like, oh, well, this is fun for a flat course. It's a really good time, but I don't know what I could do in a hillier race.
Yeah.
But it was a pretty fun way to like enter the sport.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah.
So now triathlons are something you've done more recently. When was your first Ironman?
So I've only done half Ironmans.
So the 70.3.
Yeah.
Those ones you've done. Okay.
Yeah. So I did my first one last year. I did 2 last year, and then so far this year I've done 1, which will probably be the only one I do this year.
And that was the Muncie?
Yeah. So last year I did one in Chattanooga in May, and then
Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then one in Michigan in September, which was beautiful. I loved that one.
What part of Michigan is that?
It was in a little town called Frankfort, which is like kind of near Traverse City. Like it's pretty far up there.
Okay.
Or like near Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Typically would be close to water, so you can get that open water swim somewhere. But
yeah.
There's also like a ton of lakes in Michigan. But
yeah.
Was it off of Lake Michigan?
It was right on Lake Michigan, but the swim was like in a little bay.
Okay.
Which is nice because I've heard sometimes Lake Michigan.
There can be waves there.
Yeah. Like I've been there a lot, just like, for vacations and stuff. Yeah. But I guess I've heard some horror stories about how it can get very choppy, especially for swimming in it.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah. So this swim was like in a little bay. It was very calm and
that's nice.
Lovely. Yeah.
And so for your first 70.3, did you place? Like,
it's been kind of nice to actually be like, I don't know. It's like full circle to how I started running. Like I'm just kind of mediocre, which is everyone has like
their own definition of mediocre.
Yes, exactly.
It's all relative.
Yes, everyone. Your performance is amazing to someone else always. Like that's always the case, no matter who you are. Like if you're running a 6-hour marathon, that's amazing to someone who runs a 7-hour marathon,
Or to somebody who runs a fast marathon.
Right.
Because being on your feet for that one is so impressive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is nice to just be like, oh, there's a million things to improve on. Like it's just fun. There's always a million things to improve on, but it's nice to be like, I don't know, I don't have to worry about my place really because I'm just trying to get a little bit faster on the bike or have a cleaner transition and So I honestly don't remember how I didn't really have any expectations going into the race. I kind of was like, well, maybe if I can be like around 5.5 hours, that seems like doable, just guessing based on my training. And I want to say it was like 5:19 or something like that, my first one. So I was like satisfied with it for sure. The other crazy thing is just I had no idea how I would place. And like, you have this to look forward to. The 40 to 44 female category, very stiff competition. Like, I don't know what it is. If like all these women, I don't have kids, but if these women have like had kids and are just rock stars, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's competitive in the 40 to 44 age group. Like, I experienced that in marathons and now in triathlons. It's awesome.
It's pretty crazy. I've said this a lot on this podcast, but like, I'm so impressed that women continue to just even get faster than they were when they're in their 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives me hope.
Yeah.
You know, that I can keep improving, and that it's like, oh, I thought that I was my fastest before I had kids. Like, certainly I cannot be faster now that I've had children, but you can.
Yeah.
And as you age, you can. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least then now it's giving you kind of that outlet to enjoy and improve instead of being so focused on finish times. But I bet that's still hard, because that part, at least for me, even if I say, oh, I'm doing this race for fun, I have a time in my head.
Oh, for sure.
Like 1,000%. And I'm not going to tell anybody, but I have one.
Yeah.
Because I'm always competing with myself.
Oh, I know.
You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I did, like, my coach and I messaged each other and, like, you know, after races or whatever. And so I did after Muncie, like the first text I sent was like, I missed my PR by 10 seconds.
Oh,
so
no.
it's definitely still there.
Well,
it's
that's
definitely
really
still in me.
Irritating. I'm sorry. That's really annoying. 10 seconds.
Right?
Like, come on, 10 seconds is just really annoying.
Yeah, especially that's like the flip side of the like, oh, in triathlon, there's a million things that you can improve on. But it's also like, I couldn't find 10 seconds anywhere.
Anywhere. Like in a transition, I couldn't have like, you know, ran a little quicker or,
Right.
you know. Yeah. Wow. And Muncie this year, they had somebody pass away
Yes.
at that race, didn't they?
I did not know this until like a couple days ago. I heard about it, and I still have not had a chance to look it up or
I didn't
anything.
look into
Yeah,
the details. Yeah.
yeah. But I just learned about this. It's so sad. Like,
So sad. Yeah.
I cannot even imagine like his family or whatever. Like, oh, you're going to do this cool race, and then you don't make it. Like,
yeah. Like we always
so tragic.
joke, like, oh, if I survive, if I
Yeah.
survive this race, and it seems like there's been more stories like that recently. But then I never know if it's just because the media puts more of it out there or if
Right.
it's happening more. I feel like it's just being shared more, that it's probably happened before, because those kinds of things do happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then everyone's like, I don't know, there's been a few like at the mini this year too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's crazy. So anyway, what is your favorite in the swim, bike, run?
I don't know. It really just kind of depends. I have had a lot of fun with the biking for sure, just because I've done so much running, and I feel a little bit like I feel a little more realistic about the running of like, I know what my limits are. Like,
Yeah.
I know how fast I've ever run a half marathon, and I'm probably not going to be any faster than that
Yeah,
for sure
right.
at the end of a triathlon.
Yeah.
But the biking is kind of just like a little unexplored still for me.
That's
like
fun.
it's the longest chunk too. So it's like, long rides on the weekends and training I've really enjoyed, and it's just fun because it's the longest. There's like kind of a lot of opportunity to like, I don't know, play mind games and figure out if you can go a little faster here, or, that's been definitely a fun piece of it.
Yeah. Well, and since we haven't said, what are the distances breakdown for the 73.3?
Oh yeah, so it's a 1.2 mile swim.
Okay.
A 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1 mile run.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you've done 3 of them.
Yeah.
Total. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, when are you going to do the full one? Is that the question I ask next?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
it just seems like you're,
right.
if I had to guess, at some point, it feels like that would be something you do. But
Yeah.
do you have a desire to do that?
I think so. Kind of like the same reason I was like, oh, maybe I'll try an ultra.
Yeah.
Not that I'm at this point hung up on my 70.3 times, because all the courses are so different, and like
That's kind of nice too, where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm just going to challenge myself this day, this place.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like, I don't know, like if I can do this, then maybe I can do twice the distance.
I mean, yeah. I've only ever done, like, Eagle Creek has the sprint triathlons here.
Yeah.
I did one way back in the day. I don't even know the year. It was probably like 2011 or something like that. And then I did a long sprint, which is so funny, which was like, it was up in Michigan somewhere. And it was, I don't know, half a mile swim, 10-mile bike ride, 5-mile run kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the point at which I would have perhaps fallen in love or like said, this isn't for me. Triathlons might still be for me at some point, but I used to have a deviated septum. It's since been fixed, but I never could get a hang of swimming. Yeah. And now I know it's because I couldn't breathe.
Right.
So, maybe now I could actually give it another try.
Yeah.
Who knows? My husband might murder me.
Yeah.
It's like just what you need, another hobby, another sport.
Yeah. The training is like kind of chaos.
Yeah.
Just like you're constantly doing something.
Yeah. It'll always be there if I want to do it. That's what I'll just have to remind myself. And then I wanted to talk about before I forgot, about this Oiselle bird strike team.
Yeah.
What? How did that come about?
Oh, man. That was pretty awesome.
Okay, so for people who don't know, did I say it right? Oiselle?
Yep.
So it's spelled Oiselle. So people have probably seen it if they don't know how to say it.
Yes.
It's a woman-owned brand that's amazing. So how did that happen?
Yeah. So we did that in early 2017. So it was after I ran my first 50-miler in 2016. I had been on Oiselle's like ambassador team for a while. Okay. I think like a couple years at the time.
And how did you first discover them?
That's a great question. It was definitely through Lauren Fleshman. Like, because she was their first, I think, pro athlete that they sponsored.
Yep.
And
what's her book called?
Good for a Girl.
Yeah, go read that,
yes,
everybody. It's
good. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think I just like from following her and reading her newsletter, like kind of learned about the brand, and they had this brand ambassador program like tons of brands have now.
Yeah. And
I joined, and it's just like a whatever. I wasn't like sponsored or anything, but after my ultra, I'm like, oh, maybe this could be like a cool opportunity to like do something more with the brand. So I reached out and was like, if you have any like sponsorship opportunities or anything, and they were like, well, no, but we are planning to do this. Like, it was kind of a marketing thing. They were releasing this new fabric, which they have like tons of products. It's this fly-out fabric that they were creating at the time with Polar Tech. So they were doing this marketing thing to do this super hot race. It goes through Death Valley, it starts in LA at the Santa Monica Pier and goes to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So they were putting together a team.
Which is how far, Sarah?
It's like 340 miles. They were putting together a team, and it was only, I think it was like the second or third year that this race had existed. And it's like this, they still do it. It's like a bonkers race. It's like unsanctioned. Everyone wears there's like one team GPS watch that you transfer like a baton. So it's a relay. But everyone just like charts their own course. Figure it out. You just like get from one spot to the other. And you can have like a crew. And some people do it solo, which is just even more wild.
There's actually a local guy who's done it. He was the one, he ran around the perimeter of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron Balzer.
Yeah.
And he did the Speed Project. And another local guy made a documentary about it.
Oh, awesome.
And I'm going to have to go back and look what it's called to tell people to go watch that if you want to understand the level of this event, what we're talking about. Because it's just kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Right.
And then you watch this documentary and you're like, they're doing what? In Death Valley? Like there's no like flat or like people telling you where to go. You're just like figuring it out with your crew or whatever. Okay, so I digress. But
so we
wild.
put together Oiselle put together this team. It was an all-female team, and at the year we were running it, no female teams had done the race.
Wow,
and the year we did it, there was another all-female team, and I think maybe 3, I can't remember. There was at least 2 all-female teams. So we had all-female runners, 6 of us, and then a female crew.
6. So let's do the math on that. That's a lot of miles.
Oh, yeah, it was like 80 miles a person or something. Yeah. So it's 70, yeah. And then we did have a film crew, actually. So there is like a short, it's like a 15-minute film. It's amazing. I have to confess that like sometimes I still watch it like every now and then when I like need a little bit of inspiration.
I love that. You better, will you send it to me? Or can I find it?
Yeah. You can probably if you just Google Oiselle Bird Strike, but I'll send it to you. Yeah. I don't know. It's just like the message of it is cool, and it's like people I love. Like we got so close, obviously, in this very condensed time frame of like, you know, a couple days where we're all like doing this very hard thing that, yeah, like it's just fun to go back and watch and be like, oh yeah, I can do hard things.
Yeah. So as part of the relay, how did it work? Did you run your leg and you were done, or did you guys trade off more than that?
More than that. And we started with a terrible strategy. I think everyone who did it would agree. we were like, oh, we'll start with like really big chunks and get those out of the way. So we started with like 12-mile chunks, or I think some of us had done an ultra. I had done a single ultra, but I was like, I can do.
Sure.
Yeah. And then there was like a legitimate like ultra marathon, like pro ultra runner on our team too. So we were like, we'll do like super long chunks at the beginning. So I think my first one was like 12 miles. So hot, obviously.
I mean, I can't. It's just hard to think about. It's the desert.
Right. So then we were like, maybe that's not a great idea. Yeah. So we then shortened it quite a bit. Like, I can't remember. We maybe pivoted to like 5 or 6 mile chunks. And then like when you're running like literally through Death Valley, especially like once the sun came up, you know, it's like the heat of the day. It's like maybe like a mile, maybe a half mile.
Yeah. Can I just run 400 yards and we'll just straight off? So the terrain that you would run on, you run on some roads and then in some like sand, like people would picture in the desert? Like what is that?
Some roads, some like fire roads that were just like sandy, rocky.
The ones I picture underneath the wires.
Yeah, power line.
Yeah, under the power lines.
Yep, totally.
So it's not like a paved road, but it's at least like not full on like beach sand that you're going through.
Right. Yeah. And I think now, like, people have gotten, like, really intense who do this race.
It's very intense
like,
now.
They do, like, really crazy routes that are, like, probably, I don't know, minimal to no actual roads. Like, yeah.
I'm like, that's dumb. But, you know, people love doing that stuff.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Whatever gets you excited.
I mean, I think... I did a road Ragnar, and I thought that was hard. And you just think about, I was on paved roads, you know, we were kind of like, air quotes, slumming it like in a van and stuff. And it was really quite the adventure. But then there's always another level.
Yeah. Yes.
There's always another level. And that is wild. So who was the ultra runner on your team? Is it somebody who still runs?
Yeah. Devin Yanko.
Okay. I don't know if I know who she's.
Yeah, I think she still does like a lot of ultra events and stuff. She lives in Colorado, I believe.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And so do you keep in touch with that whole team still?
Yeah, for the most part. Like we're like still friends. We did a little reunion like next year.
You should do a 10-year reunion and go back and do it again.
Yeah. Like we all kind of got together, or those of us who could, we got together the following year. And
that's cool.
Yeah. And I've done like other relays with some like segment of that group. We've done Hood to Coast, like so just
yeah, that looks interesting too. It's just, you know, I'm like, oh, I run marathons. Isn't that impressive? And then I started this podcast, and it's like, yeah, it's impressive to somebody. To your point,
yeah.
But then you talk to people who are doing insane things. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And did your women team? Did you win?
We did win.
I think you might have. Yeah, that's amazing.
We did and like because we were the first all-female team, we set the course record. It has since been broken, but I don't know what the current time is. But yeah, it was pretty awesome to just like it was cool.
That's so freaking cool. And you still to this day can be like, I was part of the first female team that did that race because now it keeps getting more and more visible. I think thanks to the internet.
Yeah,
and it just looks. I mean, that's crazy stuff. I can't believe how have we been talking for that long, Sarah?
Oh my gosh!
Like it just, I'm like, we didn't really talk about Back on My Feet at all.
Yeah. Love that group.
Did you volunteer with them for quite? Do you still?
I don't anymore. I was on their young professional board.
Okay.
Melanie, I don't know if you know Melanie Woods, also amazing. You should have her on your podcast.
I feel like I've heard that name.
She's fantastic. She was putting together the first young professional board for Back on My Feet several years ago, and just was like recruiting people. She was like, "Do you want to be part of the first board?" And so I did that for a few years, and it was just amazing. That group is incredible.
Just tell people really quickly what it is for people who might not have heard about it.
Yeah. So I don't know how many chapters they have, but it's a national organization that then has like local chapters, and they combat like homelessness and addiction through running. Also, funny enough, another thing I read about in Runner's World years ago, like when they first started, it's just an incredible organization. And like they, through these like weekly, I think they're mostly weekly meetups with folks from like homeless shelters or otherwise experiencing homelessness, can like go to these weekly runs, and like through these commitments, they can get like shoes and train for races. And I've seen it make a huge difference in so many people's lives. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So did you meet Timmy Howard during your time there?
Yeah.
And Wes Doty?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And like Maury Planbeck?
Yeah.
Jim Patton?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Anyway, there's been quite a few people on this podcast who either on the volunteer side or like Timmy and Wes who are on the addict side.
Yeah.
And now looking at you're like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Such
it's
a
amazing.
Cool program. So that's amazing. And then what else didn't we talk about? I think we covered a lot of it, which is good because we don't have any time left outside of, I wanted to like also talk about some non-running stuff, which we did a little with the NCAA. I have another follow-up question to that, which is, does the NCAA have like a running club at the company?
We don't specifically, but we do have just like a lot of runners. There's a lot of obviously former athletes who
I would imagine
like work there, or they still obviously very active. So we have a lot of like lunch runners.
Yeah. I'm just surprised there's not an official club. I'm like, it's a big enough organization with a lot of people who are at least into sports in some way, you'd think. So
I don't know. It's a good idea. Maybe I should start one.
There you go. Just something else to do. Like you don't have enough. And then you also bake and travel.
Yeah.
There's like other things outside of running.
Love traveling. It's funny. I don't know if this is like always a little like wanderlust in me, whether it's because I lived in Indianapolis almost my whole life, but I studied abroad in college for a summer. I lived in Spain for a couple, 3 months, and was like, wow, the world is out there.
Right. Well, this is different than Indiana. Yeah.
And have just loved traveling ever since. So I've been to Europe, but then all over the U.S. So just like, I don't know. It's just fun to like see different landscapes, different cultures and communities.
1,000%.
And
What's on your bucket list or on your calendar?
On my calendar is,
That's even better.
Yeah, actually just in a few weeks, 5 weeks, I think, going to Europe again.
Okay.
So this all started because, actually, funny enough, speaking of Lauren Fleshman, she has these retreats called Wilder retreats. They're running and writing.
Wait, writing, like writing with a pen? Okay, not riding horses.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I don't know. Colorado or wherever.
Right. Yeah, writing. So I did one of these retreats in Oregon, several years ago. And while she was writing her book, she like took some time away from hosting them, but then returned to them this year. And one of them, she's doing, I think the first time she's done an international one, it's in Chamonix, France. So running in the Alps and
I feel like you need to come back on after that or something. I'm like, dang, I want to hear about that.
Yeah.
That is so incredible.
Yeah.
How many women will be there?
12 women.
12?
Yeah.
That is so cool. I was going to guess like less than 100, but I mean, because who can go do that? I mean, that's so cool. How long will it be? A week or a couple weeks?
It's a week. Well, that part of it is a week. And then I convinced my husband, I'm like, do you want to come for like beforehand? Like we can do a little, if I'm flying to Europe anyway.
Yeah.
So we're going over like 10 days early, and we're going to do a little like France, Italy, Switzerland, because it's all kind of right in the little pocket there.
Oh, that'll be so fun.
Yeah. I'm so excited.
Ooh, I'm so jealous. I can't wait to will you post a lot online that day or that week? Please, for other people that want to live vicariously through you. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to ask you the end of the podcast questions now. The first one is, what is your favorite running song and or mantra?
Yeah, the song really varies depending on like what kind of mood I need. But one that has been getting me going lately is Falling Water by Maggie Rogers.
Oh, I don't know that.
It's just got like a kick and beat. So good.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like, I don't know, if I need like a good positive, like hype up one. And then the mantra, I have a couple different ones, but the one that comes to mind is very simple, but it's one of my rowing coaches in college used to say this, and he used to yell. Obviously in rowing, like the spectating is very different from like running. You're a little farther away. So he would be like on shore while we're rowing on the water. But he would yell, "Yes, you can." And so that's what I think of if I'm like going through a tough time, or if I'm thinking like, oh, this race sucks, or like, why did I think I could go out at this pace?
I cannot possibly hold this pace.
Yeah.
It's
And it's, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Like, yeah. So
that's good. That's really good. And it helps just like change the mindset too.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can say that, that's okay. Now that's positive. Like, let's change it to be not the negative talk.
Right.
And then what is your next finish line or milestone?
Yeah, actually in a couple weeks, I'm going to Milwaukee to do a triathlon.
Okay, is that before you go on your trip? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Yeah.
got a lot coming up. And a lot of
That's
exciting
amazing.
things to look forward to. Yeah. Yeah. So it's that's an Olympic distance triathlon. So it's like about half the distance of the half Ironman.
Okay.
So it's a 1,500 meter swim.
It's like, come on, do the math.
Yeah, I know.
Sarah. That's the hard thing about being a math person. My aunt calls me the mathematician, and then I can't do math on the fly very well,
People
especially
like,
in running.
Quick, whatever.
Yeah, you're good at math. I'm like, I'm good at not on come on, give me a calculator or something.
Right? Yeah, but it's a 1,500 meter swim, a 40K bike, and a 10K run. Okay, nice. Yeah. In Milwaukee. My sister lives up there. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Where do you know? Is it along the lakeshore?
Yeah, it's in what's the name of the park? Is it Veterans Park? Yeah, it's like right on there's like Discovery Center or something. Okay. Is like where all the stuff, where like the race headquarters is. So the swim is in like a little inlet.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it up there though. We went up there working as NCAA, get tickets to a lot of events, championship events. And so there was a early round of March Madness was in Milwaukee this year. So my husband and I went up there.
That's fun.
Brought our dog, stayed in a cute little Airbnb, and just loved it. And so I was like, let's go back for this triathlon.
Like, wonder what races they have.
Yeah.
I need to do a race in Milwaukee because my sister lives there, and I've not done a race in Wisconsin before. And I'm not necessarily going for all the states, but I'm like, if there's an excuse to, do a race that I haven't done before, then let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
To get to meet you. I loved it.
It's been great.
I could talk to you all day. And
Likewise.
we have to catch up after your retreat.
Yes.
Please.
Absolutely.
And thank you to Carlton for connecting us. I haven't had Carlton on this podcast yet.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how I'm going to get Carlton in 90 minutes though.
Right.
Like he has so many stories. It's going to be amazing. And thank you to everybody who's listened, and happy running.
Yes.
Yay. We did it.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode of Finish Lines and Milestones from Sandy Boy Productions, please go share with your friends, rate, review. That's the best way to spread the word, and I appreciate it so much. If you want to follow me online, I am most active on Instagram. I'm Allie, ALLYT Brett, BRETT. That's Allie T Brett _runs. Thank you so much to today's sponsor, Relay Active. Go to relayactive.com, use code AllieB for 15% off your order. You will not regret it. I'm literally wearing one of her shirts right now. And I hope to see you around next week. Have a good one. Bye.